Welcome to the home of Belhana Glass Studio. We are located in Long Neck, Delaware. We live let me swing this around so it's not too fast and make you seasick. But our front yard is a lovely lake. It's really pretty, we love it. Lots of flowers, lots of birds, butterflies, hummingbirds. But let me show you inside where all the magic happens. Now please understand this is a working studio, so it is not in pristine condition, but everything has a home, and we try to keep it as organized as possible, as it's not a very large space. Because of the neighborhood, the HOA that we live in, we're only allowed to have a 14 by 14 foot outside building. So it's 14 by 14 and everything's here. So obviously, lots of things to wash, containers, our grinder, ring saw, and all of those items that you see below the counter. Those are all pieces of glass in different forms. It comes in sheets, rods, cane, which is very decorative. There's a vase upside down drying on the towel that just came out of the kiln that will be on Etsy shortly. Display items, frames, boxed, all sorts of things that we use. The shelves are in disarray as we just had a large art fair this weekend, so everything's packed up and ready for that. That large kiln is called a coffin kiln or a bathtub kiln. It is the largest kiln that we have. It's 41 inches wide. It's about 40 inches long, 41 inches long, about 20 inches wide, and about the same in depth. And I'll walk you over and show you that in a moment. And then a lovely view of our woods. And then there's our smaller kiln. It's getting ready right now. I will show that a little closer as well. We are about to do a casting, firing, so it'll be full of all sorts of casting molds. There are some finished pieces of glass on the display shelves, waiting to be packed for an art fair. And then lots of different tools. There are glass paints, glass powders, glass frit, cutouts, laser cutouts, glass cane, vitrograph. Glass comes in many forms, and we use all of them. There's some sheets ready for a project on my bench. It comes in many forms, and we use all of them, and it's just part of the magic of what you can create. The creativity is endless. It's just endless because it's, as I said, it comes in so many forms and it creates so many different techniques. Here's many molds, some more glass sheets, but under the bench you can see lots of the molds that we use in our work. And of course, respirators and masks. When you work with enamels, glass powders, Zip, which is boron nitride paint or a spray that goes on to seal the molds, kiln wash, all of those things, you must wear a mask, either an N95 or we prefer the 99 respirators. There's some finished pieces as well, ready to go in Etsy. Let me show you the kiln, the large one. It is computerized. It's called a tap computer. Let me put the phone down for a moment as I open this up. It takes two hands. The lid is very heavy. Sorry about that. Now what you're seeing on the shelf in the kiln is kiln paper. This has already been fired. That's a drape mold. So when we do our vases, they are draped upside down over a stainless steel form, and the kiln paper underneath just captures the glass if it does hit the kiln shelf. That way it doesn't stick. Those are all the coils going around the edge, and then the lid has coils in it as well. As I said, it's large. So that paper burns off during the process, and now it's dust. If I were to touch it, it literally would just be dust. Here's the second mold, the second kiln, I'm sorry. This one is a different kind of controller. This is an older version. It's called the 9 button. We love it. This is all ready with kiln posts ready for the casting molds. They're outside. they've had zip applied. This one only has coils on the roof of the kiln, where the other one, the large one, obviously has them all around the edge and also on the roof. So different kind of heating. They call these clam shells. So this one, you can see the lid is up right now. And let me show you. One of the things I love about these kilns, it's called a clam shell, because I can actually load it from the front. So the lid comes in two heights. The large one does the same thing, but I have found I cannot lift that large bottom piece. So I always have to top load that kiln. I'm just not strong enough, unfortunately. I thought I was when I bought it, but you know, these things you learn as you go along. So let me show you a few different components that we use in glass. So here's glass paints and glass powders and enamels. There's a different kind of glass paint. These are all jars and jars of what we call glass frit. Comes in powder, medium, fine, coarse, all the colors you can think of. This vitrograph that you see, that's this long curly glass, also comes in lots of different colors. I actually purchased this from a friend of mine that's a glass artist. She makes these in her kiln. Now these I made, these little curlies. Those are really fun to do. You do them on top of sidewalk chalk in the kiln. You lay the sidewalk chalk at the floor of your kiln and you drape just a straight stringer, a glass noodle, and it folds in between the cracks of the sidewalk chalk, and it creates those really cool shapes. Very easy to do, a lot of fun. There's some more vitrograph. Now the vitrograph is created in a special kiln called a vitrograph kiln, where it's mounted up high. There's a hole on the bottom of the kiln, and the artist puts the glass in like a flower pot or some sort of a vessel inside the kiln. And then there's flower pots, as you know, the clay ones have a hole in the center. So the melted glass, once it's fired to a certain temperature, it becomes liquid and it molten, and it comes out of the flower pot hole, and there's a hole in the bottom of the vitrograph kiln, and it drips down. And the glass artist takes, obviously wearing protective clothing and gloves, takes long, almost like, what do you call them when you cook with them? Oh gosh, I can't think of the name. Pasta, you know, oh my word, you know what I'm talking about, with the things that you pick up pasta or sausage in the kitchen with. Tongs, there we go. You use tongs, and they hold the end, the very tip of the vitrograph with tongs. Let me see if I can show you how cool and curly this is. So she'll take the very tip, and then she just twists and molds that glass as it's coming out, and creates these really fascinating shapes. I use this often in my seascapes and landscapes. I just think it adds a lot of pop. Here's a piece that was made recently that's getting ready for a frame. Lots and lots of sheet glass in all different colors. All those small bins that you see tucked in underneath, those are pieces of scrap. Here's some night lights getting ready to go into the kiln in a couple of days. This is the frit that I was talking about. So this is champagne pink. Pink is a very difficult color to get in glass. It's very expensive to make. They use gold, real gold in the process. So pink is rare. So if you get a piece of fused glass with pink in it, you have a treasure. Every piece of fused glass is a treasure, but pink is just extra special. But you can kind of see the size of it. This is actually a medium frit. I'm getting ready to do a pink piece for a commission. So I pulled all my pink out. This is obviously powder. You can see in the bag that's powder. This is some of that vitrograph I showed you. These are dots that I made on another firing, these small little things. Those are really fun when we have a lot of scrap glass left over from myriad projects. We put them in on a full fuse, just a little piece of scrap. And what happens is as it melts, the kiln causes it to mound up, and it makes these really fabulous organic shapes that we use in a lot of our pieces. Well, I could talk about this for another 20 minutes, but I won't. I just wanted to kind of give you an idea of the magic of kiln-formed glass, warm glass, fused glass. It goes by a few different names. And I'll leave you with a couple of pieces that are finished. That's a pretty spoon rest in French country colors. And this is a batik bowl. Hard to see in this lighting. This will be on Etsy soon, but you see the butterflies and the flowers around the edge. Hope you're having a wonderful day. Thank you for watching. Many warm thoughts from Belhana Glass Studio, Long Neck, Delaware.